Aleister Crowley Thelema and the number 93. Stay to the end for the meaning of that number.
The Beast,
The wickedest man in the world.
Aleister Crowley. Celebrities seem to love him, magicians and followers of the occult respect him, and extreme religious groups associate him with the devil. Yep, he was not perfect, but he was, in the occult world, one of the greatest. Most of the names that they call him, like the Beast, for example, were actually given by himself, so he sort of enjoyed that kind of publicity. Maybe you heard the record Mr. Crowley from Ozzy Osbourne, or seen the album cover from Sgt. Pepper Lonely Heart Club Band from the Beatles. He's there indeed. Whatever it is, I will give you my personal experience and opinion, but first a little bit of how I got introduced to this character. You see, very young I was initiated on a brotherhood, mainly out of curiosity, and found myself luckily meeting people, a few, interested in that hidden aspect of life. Ironically, I was surrounded by the occult since in my house I grew up watching my mother practicing witchcraft. We decided to use the book from Donald Michael Craig called Modern Magic, which can be downloaded online as well as in Spanish version. If you're interested in the book, you can send me a message. We really work on that book, follow all the lessons related to the ceremonial magic, meditation, banishing rituals, etc. etc. And while reading this book, I got introduced to Aleister Crowley. I ended up buying his books, and anyone who has the chance to read or view his books and study magic would be amazed of the amount of information this guy produced. The basis of yoga, positions, the breathing, meditation, fundamentals of ritual, ceremonial magic, the altar, magical tools, the book of the law, which I later will talk about, the correspondence and the charts, Kabbalah, planets, the elements, which are the key to create talismans and in certain operations, more things. So I was introduced to him through his work, so to speak. And then later, at the same time, I started hearing about his legendary stories, which many use as basis to describe him as a Satanist or evil man. The truth is that Crowley, in his search, experimented with many things: sexual magic, drugs. I admire his teachings and what he wrote. That doesn't mean that I would consider doing everything he did, but I guess he sacrificed himself to achieve that level of knowledge. But who was Aleister Crowley? Aleister Crowley was an English occultist and ceremonial magician and Freemason. He was once known as the wickedest man in the world. Several decades after his death, he is still regarded as one of the most influential occultists of all time. Crowley led a life that was absolutely shocking given the time and era he lives in. He was a heavy user of recreational drugs and notorious for his sexual practices with individuals of both sex. He joined the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn as a young man and claimed to have been contacted by Aiwas, his holy guardian angel. He believed to be the prophet of a new age and played a significant role in founding a religion called Thelema, which proposes that its adherents, known as Thelemites, should seek their own true path in life and follow it eventually. His philosophy came to be accepted by the Ordo Templis Orientis. Crowley went on to form his own occult society and later on created a religious commune called the Abbey of Thelema. A man with a wide range of interests, he was also an avid mountaineer who scaled several lofty peaks all over the world. He led a highly controversial life and was also known as the Beast 666. In February 1904, Crowley and his wife Rose arrived in Cairo, claiming to be a prince and a princess. They rented an apartment which Crowley set up a temple room and began invoking an ancient Egyptian deities while studying Islamic mysticism and Arabic. According to Crowley's later account, Rose regularly became delirious and informed him they were waiting for you. On the 18th of March, she explained that they were the god Horus, and on the 20th of March proclaimed that the equinox of the gods had come. She led him to a nearby museum, where she showed him a 7th century mortuary stele known as the Stele of Ag-en Konsu. Crowley thought it important that the exhibit number was 666, the number of the beast in Christian belief, and in later years termed the artifact the Stele of Revealing. According to Crowley's later statement on April 8, he heard a disembodied voice that claimed to be of Aiwas, the messenger of Horus, or Hur-Par-Krat. Crowley said that he wrote down everything the voice told him over the course of the next 3 days and titled it Liber al-Bel Legis, or the Book of the Law. The book proclaimed that humanity was entering a new aeon and that Crowley would serve as its prophet. It stated that a supreme moral law was to be introduced in the new aeon.
Do what two will
Should be the whole of the law, and that people should learn to live in tune with their will. This book and the philosophy that it exposed became the cornerstone of Crowley's religion, Thelema. The word Thelema is an English translation of the Koine Greek noun will, from the verb to will, wish, want, or purpose. The Thelemic pantheon, a collection of gods and goddesses who either literally exist or serve as a symbolic archetype or metaphor, includes a number of deities, primarily a trio adapted from the ancient Egyptian religion, who are the 3 speakers of the Book of the Law, Nuit, Hadet, and Rahur-Kuit. In at least one instance, Crowley described these deities as a literary convenience. 3 statements in particular define the practice and ethics of Thelema. Do what you will shall be the whole of the law, meaning that followers of Thelema should seek out and follow their true path, find or determine their true will. Love is the law on their will. The nature of this law of Thelema is love, but love itself is subsidiary to finding and
manifesting
one's authentic purpose or mission. Every man and every woman is a star, which is to say that in the 20th century era vulgaris cosmology, it is implied by metaphor that a person doing their will are like stars in the universe, occupying a time and a position in space, yet distinctly, individually, and having an independent nature largely without undue conflict with other stars. What is outstanding about Thelema is that the Book of the Law doesn't say that we are supposed to do what we want, but do what you willed. People throughout time had misunderstood this statement, saying that Crowley was a sort of an anarchist, where he believed everyone could go ahead and do whatever they wanted to do. Through the study of magic, magicians are faced with several ways to practice the art, where we indeed can cause changes in our surroundings through our intention, but real magicians know there is always a balance, and that the universe acts upon a way where at the end it should find a way to balance itself. Therefore, practitioners would be and should be careful. If you work on a magical operation to get a certain benefit, you might get indeed what you want, but there will be a cause, an effect, Therefore, to avoid these side effects, to call them on a certain way, we should always act according to our true will. But how we know what's our true will? One of the best ways to be in tune with our true self and find this is through the practice of white magic or meditation. Some do it through yoga as well, and many other techniques. Through the great work, we are able to get in tune with our true self, holy guardian angel, interior child, or secret master. You will be able to know exactly what your true will is, and whatever you do, both in the profane world, with your actions, or in a magical operation, you will be successful and will not bring any karmic consequence. Let's say that you believe that in order to be happy, you and your family need a house, big, with 2 floors, huge garage, or an excellent location. So you go ahead and request a bank loan, which requires to increase your debt. As a result, you end up needing more money and depending more on your job, and you don't really feel that happy as you were anticipating. When you are in tune with your true will, through the magician great work, you will instead pursue not a physical house but a home, and by making changes necessary that you will discover and find as you are focused on your true objective or your true will, you and your family will become happier and be more fulfilled. Talking about Crowley would require a separate video. He was ahead of his time, and some consider him a true genius. On his books, he developed correspondence of elements, planets, numbers. Most of the current occultists and magicians use as a reference to continue the path. His work influenced scientists, musicians, writers who later went on to found their own religion, but that's another story. On his pursuit of magic, he did experiment with drugs, sexual rituals of all kind, and ceremonial magic. But the teachings of Thelema are, in my opinion, one of the most precious gifts for mankind. So, what does the number 93 stand for? The number 93 is of great significance in Thelema. Since the central philosophy of Thelema is do what you will should be the whole of the law, and love is the law, love under will. The 2 primary terms in these statements are will and love. When we apply a numerical value to each letter of these Greek words, the letters of each of these words sum 93. So 92 reminds us of how important will and love are. Dear friends, I hope you liked this video. Please remember to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and share this video as well. I uploaded many videos covering topics related to forbidden history, the occult, and magic. And with your support, I will upload much more. Remember, 93. Do what you will should be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Take care and thank you.